Test, test.
My name is Adina Scandrup, and I'm Vice Chair for MPC. So, I guess I should get to the right screen. All right, so excused from the meeting today. Anyone? Yes, well, Lynette.
Excuse Councillor Chrisman from our meeting.
Let Dan hang up his coat. Minutes. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes for today? How would you like to handle them?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Thank you, Dan. All in favor of Dan's motion? Carried. All right. Sorry. Moving right along. Got some people in the gallery today, so how about we do introductions? Might as well start with Neil. Thank you.
Neil Johnson, Division 7. Welcome.
Ben Hofer, Division 8.
Hi, welcome and good morning. Greg Screever, Division 5, south of Brooks and Lake Newell Resort.
And I'm from Division 2, which is the hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Good morning and welcome. Arno Dirksen, Division 9, which is GEM and rural Rosemary.
Welcome, Matt Fensky, CAO.
Good morning and welcome. Holly Johnson, Division 4, the areas of Scandia, Rainier, Bow City, Castles, and Antelope Creek.
Hi there, Dan Baumgarten from Division 1, Rolling Hills.
Good morning, I'm Lynette Kopp, Division 3, Patricia Millicent area.
Good morning, Emma Sinclair, Planning and Development Administrative Assistant.
Hello, Catherine Siakla, Communications Officer.
Good morning, Sandra Stanway, Brooks Bulletin.
Hello, Shana Lee, Development Officer.
I am Maria Jackson, Supervisor of Planning and Development.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wiley. I own the Prairie Schooner Inn on the Duchess Highway.
Hello, I'm Jeff Tiffin. I manage the Planning, Development, and Engineering departments.
Hi, Krisha Burquest with Century 21. I'm just here in the interest of Mr. Wiley.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Back to our agenda. Are there any post-agenda items? I look for a motion for adoption of the agenda. Thank you, Greg. All in favor of Greg's motion? That's carried. Development permits. Yes, Shana Lee.
Thank you. Development permit 2026-029 is for the intensification of the existing inn to include on-site camping. In 2006, there was a permit issued for a campground for year-round use on this parcel. The conditions of the permit were never met, therefore the permit is void. 6 of the 27 campsites were constructed at that time. However, the County of Newell doesn't have construction permits for these 6 sites. The applicant is requesting to install 14 sites to be used year-round, which will cater to persons working in the area and looking for long-term accommodation. The applicant anticipates adding 8 sites to the 6 that are already constructed within the next 2 years. There was 4 responses from adjacent landowners. Issues being, some of the issues being privacy, noise, traffic, fire, garbage, fencing, layout, and alternative access. So in the conditions that we have on the permit, that the interior road is maintained and dust is maintained, the garbage is regularly collected and disposed of, that fires can only be in designated fire pits. We have a condition on there, condition K, that the recreational vehicles are not used as dwellings and that they must be removed from the parcel between October and April of each year. As I said in my discussion, that is not what the applicant is requesting. That is a condition that is up to the decision of MPC. We are requesting that possibly a fence could be added as a condition that would alleviate the privacy, some of the noise on the parcel. And we're recommending approval, and the applicant, Mr. Wiley, is here to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add, Mr. Wiley?
Not really. I think that sums it up.
Any questions? Holly, Councillor Johnson.
Just had some questions about the site. So the ones that are labeled 1 through 6, and I see 2 of them aren't showing on that picture, I believe, because they are on the south side. Those are the ones that are already constructed, and 7 to 14, or the other ones are the new ones. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
Councillor Screever.
Hi. The 2 that you have in front of the building, between the building and the road, are they visible from the road? I see a row of trees there. What is the condition of those trees? Are they still there, or?
The trees got severely damaged during the hailstorm, but would replace them if I have to take them down. Right now, the insurance company seems to think that they're going to grow back. So that part. The 2 sites on that west side, I'm just going to use them as overflow nightly emergencies, but the other 12 would be, I was looking for long-term, monthly type rentals.
Councillor Dorkson.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, Lauren. I guess my question is maybe for staff or for Lauren. Just for clarity, the recommendation is that the sites not be used on a year-round basis, but the application is in fact to use them on a year-round basis, right? For accommodation. Just some clarity on that, maybe from staff.
Thank you. Yes, we have a condition because generally that is on our campground type uses. They're not for year-round use. However, Mr. Wiley would like to have them as year-round use.
Okay, just to follow up, yeah, and that was your intention, correct? To try to have people there year-round living there, yeah. Yes,
you know, as well as workers in the area, I was looking at people that were looking for long-term accommodation. It also helps in the finances as well, because it's an extra 6 months out of the year I'd be getting some revenue.
Yeah, and just to follow up, the other question I had was around the fence. There was a suggestion of a fence, but I'm not sure if it's a condition at this point. Would you be amicable to fencing the site to address, say, neighbors' concerns or that kind of thing?
Certainly the neighbor to the north, because he's right close to the, we share basically a common fence now, and I can appreciate he'd like a little more privacy. So I don't have a problem with putting a fence to the north, a privacy fence. The other one I noticed was a fellow that has the farmyard to the east. not sure what exactly he's looking for there, other than maybe a chain link type one to keep garbage from blowing onto his field. The other thing was these sites would not have campfire sites. That's not what I want. So.
Thanks.
Councillor Screever?
This may be for staff. Is there any type of bylaws or any type of rules out there with respect to full year sites? I know that there are full year sites in the city of Brooks and in other areas in the county. Is there, I'm just thinking for winter use, such as straw bales. I remember there were straw bales put around campers and things like that. Very, very much a fire hazard. Is there rules behind that that you know of?
Channelie?
Thank you. So in our land use bylaw for the campground, it states that it's not normally used for year round or permanent. So other than that, it doesn't say how it would need to be winterized. We don't have that in our land use bylaw.
Oh, you got a follow-up?
Yeah. Do we know? Do we have anybody here that can speak to what regulations are out there with respect to that?
Yes.
So this permit is for on-site camping as an accessory to the inn. So it is a little bit different than a campground. So it doesn't, it can be reviewed differently than the campground regulations that are in the land use bylaw. So MPC could consider year-round use. Some of the negative impacts from that are RVs aren't meant to be used as dwellings. So that's a consideration on that MPC could have for the nature of this development, I suppose. As it year-round may lead to that type of development, there could be a condition put on that no additions or permanent structures will be on the site. So then that maybe alleviates some of the dwelling concerns, if that is. There would also have to be more investigation from our end for private septic disposal systems to ensure that they can handle what happens in the winter. So there would be a little bit more background, I think, on our end, just to ensure that everything would meet the Alberta regulations and would be suitable, so it wouldn't cause a nuisance in the future.
Councillor Kopp?
So what is the plans with the septic right now? Like, are they going to have to move their units to dump, or are you putting in full service? I didn't see that on here.
Yes, I'm going to be putting in full service for the extra 8 that I'm applying for. The original 6 are tied into the existing system.
Follow-up?
Yeah. So I saw that there's a septic field proposed. Is that large enough in regulation for what we're doing? Because I know there's specifications on that too.
Thank you. I just wanted to note that we have a condition that we've put on the permit, which is D, that states that the applicant must get a licensed installer to review the septic tank, or sorry, the septic field that is currently servicing or proposed to be servicing the 6 sites, including the location, the size, and all that jazz.
Councillor Johnson?
Just curious, what is the need you're hearing for this? Like, if you're doing this, you must be hearing from people that there is year-round housing needed for workers, or seeing there is a need. So just to speak on that, and then to staff, if it was year-round, we'd be looking at them being taxed on a year-round basis as dwellings, right? Is that correct?
We were actually running the 6 sites for, I guess, about 5 years. And so they were pretty much full in the summertime, and the existing 6 sites. And then come winter time, we'd lose a few, but some of them, it was kind of their permanent home. Some were rig workers that were in the area for long periods and owned their own RVs, so they'd stay there rather than a hotel. Yeah, I get a number of calls for people wanting to, be able to park there and stay there. So it was also just a means of increasing the revenue for the business.
I just have a comment, sorry, Maria. From when I was on the tourism board, and maybe Councillor Hofer can elaborate. I know when I was on the tourism board, the Kiwanis campground, which are all permanent sites, they have a wait list for people wanting to move in there. So, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I like the opportunity that you're taking advantage of, actually. So I'm supportive of what you're doing and the year-round nature. It's true that campers aren't made for winter habitation, but it happens all over the country. I don't know why we wouldn't accept it here as well. So I like that idea. I'm kind of interested too in, it makes sense to me that, say, a chain link fence like you talked to, which I think would go on the east side potentially, right? I mean, that sounds like a reasonable concern on behalf of neighbors too, if you're amicable to that. But in that regard, I appreciate the fact that you're taking advantage of opportunity and supportive of what you're trying to do, what you want to do here, I think. And are there any downsides to this? I just don't see that they're there. I think that things are in place to let this go forward.
Councillor Screever.
Yeah, I don't see a downside, and I'm actually fine with the 2 out front also as on a temporary basis, on a nightly basis, as long as they're not on a permanent type of arrangement. An overflow is, I think that's 100% acceptable in my eyes, and I'm prepared to make a motion on this file if you're ready for that.
Councillor Baumgartner.
It's probably for staff, just a follow-up to some earlier discussion as to what was the reasoning behind not allowing year-round camping. I think you had mentioned it's sort of open-ended and that's how it's written, but I'm wondering if we can get just a bit more color as to why they're written that way. Is it just unsightly, just too many people didn't keep them up over a full year duration? Or I'm just curious what the reasoning behind the bylaw written that way.
Maria.
I think the intent of that policy is to ensure that it is a campground for the campground policy. Again, we're looking at this at a bit of a different lens, so that it doesn't become residential in nature, that it is more of a tourist, short-term accommodations. And that's the biggest reason. And then also the problems that come with winter camping. And especially when you're looking at a larger scale project, those problems then are compounded versus a smaller sort of scale.
Councillor Screever.
Yeah, and I like the idea of it coming to MPC for approval for year-round use. That means that we do have some control. Each case is not the same. Every case is different with respect to that, and I like the idea that staff have the ability to approve a 6-month, and that's part of the bylaw. But a full year, that should come to us, I think. So I'm in favor of that.
So are you? Oh, Councillor Johnson.
I just had one more question about the access. It is a shared access, but the letter of concern, it said it was their private driveway. Could you just explain that, and then how we would address concerns about if we do have that 14 lots full, there'd be a lot more traffic coming and going, if that is a concern or not.
Shanley?
Thank you. So years previously, it is a shared access, and there is a caveat on it for Mr. Wiley. And there was inquiries with Alberta Transportation to put a separate access on for the parcel, and it was denied. They won't allow us to have another access. They have to use the access that is there. I did put a condition that dust must be maintained on that road. So that would be my suggestion.
Okay. Councillor Screever, are there any other questions? Councillor Screever?
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion, option 1. And I'd like to also address on the motion the fencing, that a condition be some chain link fencing to the east, and then some kind of privacy fencing to the north, be a condition of the motion.
What about the year-round camping?
Yeah, the year-round camping is the part of the motion. Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Just a question with that, with regard to that. So condition K says that it's not, year-round camping isn't available. You're removing that. Is that the motion? Okay. So yeah. Thank you.
Is that clear for you?
I think it is.
Okay. Councillor Hofer?
And I will support that motion as well. The other motion that I'd like to put on there is that year-round camping with no additions built onto it, like Shanley had mentioned too.
So are we ready for the question then? Or you'll amend?
Yeah, I'll amend my motion to say to include the non-permanent or the no permanent structures. I think that's what we had alluded to. So I'd like to put that on as a condition also.
Thank you. Councillor Screever, you ready for the question then? Oh.
Just a quick question to the applicant. Is that amicable to what you were hoping for today? Does that fit with your business plan and that?
Yeah, the fencing is something I hadn't counted on, but I appreciate the concerns, and it'll just be, an extra expense, but it's not going to kill the project.
Okay. Good to hear. Thanks.
Yes, Councillor Johnson.
I'm just going back to a statement that Councillor Screever made about bales around for winter. I don't know if you want to address that or not, but something to be considered, I guess, is how they're going to winterize their campers. Yes, people do use bales often, and that would be, I don't know, something you would like to see on your site is a whole lot of bales, but I don't know if we want to address that or not. It's neither here nor there. It's just something to be maybe considered or not.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Opposed? That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. You're good. You're good to go. Thank you. So next we have subdivision 2026-0-005. Who'd like to speak to Maria?
Thank you. This proposed subdivision is in Division 9, 14 kilometers northeast of Bizano. The applicant would like to subdivide a portion of the southwest of 21-2217 and consolidate it with a quarter to the north to allow an existing pivot to make a full circle. There are no new parcels being created. The property lines are being reconfigured to allow for more efficient irrigation practices. There were no concerns raised by adjacent landowners or internal departments. The Eastern Irrigation District did not have any objections. However, they have their standard requirements in regards to water rights and irrigation. So it is recommended that MPC approve this subdivision with the conditions that all outstanding property taxes be paid, any utility right-of-ways, easements, or agreements be registered at the time of finalization. If a development agreement is required, that they register into that, and that the 40-acre parcel from the southwest of 21 be consolidated with the northwest of 21, and that no new lots are being created. Municipal reserve is not applicable for this subdivision as it is it's 40 acres or more, and it's for agriculture purposes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes, Councillor Johnson.
I'm confused why. This pivot is already on 4 different quarters. Does he not own the one to that quarter? Is that what he's subdividing, or like, why do we need to subdivide a piece out to make the pivot a circle?
So they are going through some succession planning. This parcel is not owned by the person that's subdividing this. So currently this pivot just runs in a half circle. And they are proposing a new pivot for the northwest of 21. And part of that would be extending the existing infrastructure through here. So they're going to subdivide this, sell it to the northwest of 21 to allow this pivot to make a full circle, and then also an additional pivot on the northwest of 21.
Yes, Councillor Kopp.
It seems pretty cut and dry. I like the nice straight lines, and I would make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank So is there any other business? I'm seeing none. No post-agenda items. Any reason for in-camera? No. Excellent. Any questions in the queue? No? Then I adjourn this meeting.
And I will Welcome to our regular council meeting for May 21st, 2026. We have Councillor Chrisman is away today. If we could have a motion, Councillor Scanderup.
I move we excuse Councillor Chrisman.
Chrisman for today. All in favor of that, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. We have the minutes of the May 7th, 2026 council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions, or a motion to approve as circulated? Councillor Holly Johnson.
I'll motion we approve the minutes.
A motion to approve the minutes as circulated. Thank you. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you. Are there any post-agenda items to add to the agenda? Okay, we do have public hearing at 11:30. At 10:45, we'll have our Ag Fieldman's report or thereabouts. We have a scheduled meeting with STARS, Jackie Seely at 11 a.m. and Diane Declerq from the Health Foundation at 11:15, and then the public hearing at 11:30. And I think that is our agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as circulated? Councillor Hofer, thank you. All in favor that we approve the agenda, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Are there any questions in the public realm? Or anyone have any notices of motion? Seeing none. Go right. Let's, we're way ahead of schedule, but we have our Ag Fieldman here, Mr. Todd Green. Would you be prepared to give us your report at this time? Welcome. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for having me today. Appreciate it. It's always good to be sitting here. Ben. Sorry. All right, so I'll try to keep you ahead of schedule. I know you guys are busy. Just a quick report for you. I think so far we have pretty much all of our training accomplished for our seasonal staff, which is a big part of the first part of May. And now we're moving on to other things. So we did, I don't know if anybody had noticed, but we did have some reasonably low gopher populations early season. We have had a few people call in and let us know that they're definitely running around now. But we're still not hearing what we normally hear, which is a good sign. I know we've talked a lot about strychnine over the last couple months. It's been a heck of a journey trying to get it here for producers to utilize. We've been through our training. We've updated our records, our licensing to make sure that we have the availability to sell it when we do get it. Lots of social media posts, lots of frenzy, lots of buzz around strychnine, but we have we've got the information out to producers that we think is valuable for anybody that reached out to us. I think 3 producers went through the training themselves, so they could buy it this season if they wanted to. Everybody else has elected to wait until the 2027 season, and I can go into more detail, but I don't know how much value there is in all of that. But anyways, just so you know, we are making it available as soon as we can. Really kind of a slow start to the season in terms of rental acres and utilization. Of course, this is a week and a half old when I build a Fieldman report for the council agenda. So when you look at the conventional drill, it's had 213 acres. It's probably done roughly 70 acres a day since then. So it's quite a bit higher than that. Same with the no-tills. There's 2 of them. They do roughly 50 acres a day. So each. So those numbers are probably quite a bit higher now. Not a lot of livestock equipment went out this spring, but still happy to have it and available. And the barbecue, I got to tell you, it's good that it was slow for a minute, because June, I think there's about 6 days where it's actually in our yard again. So pretty exciting for that piece of equipment. We have heard a little bit more about our surveys now. We will be doing the provincial club root survey and the Fusarium graminearum. And bacterial ring rot, we haven't got our list of fields we have to do yet, but they are hosting a training at the beginning of June. So I assume if we're going to get trained on something, we're probably going to have to do the surveys. So we'll find out that a little bit later. We've been working on the Downey Brome and Horry Crest and the contract work that we do for the City of Brooks, Town of Bazzano, Village of Dutchess. That's been eating up a lot of time. I think we've had some success with landowners and the EID on priorities. I don't know if it'll ever be enough. Honestly, I don't think anybody has enough time, money, or energy, but we're continuing that battle, and from my understanding, I think it's a good battle. We do intend to start roadside spraying on or about June 10th, north of the Trans-Canada Highway this year. We did get some mediocre news from Alberta Transportation. They're not sure they have the same amount of money to commit to roadside spraying as they have in the past, so we're going to have to really hit priority roads versus trying to be proactive approach as we have been for the last 10 or 15 years, but that's okay. We'll work within the confines we have. Emerson Park is open for business. We're excited for the season. A reasonably slow start to the May long weekend. You know, it was cold. It was kind of garbage weather for camping, but it's also nice because we do have a new teammate at Emerson, so that's a heck of a first weekend when you've got 500 people ripping around with different ideas on how they need to conduct business. So anyways, it was good. It was still fun. I think Dorland learned some things, and we're moving on. First pass of mowing in the hamlets. We just had a quick toolbox meeting yesterday, and we're asking the crew how they were making out. They have not made it through everything yet. But all the hamlets are done, pardon me, but there's still some subdivisions and airports that need to be hit for the first time. So they seem to be, yesterday everybody was smiling, laughing, joking around. So it's great to see when the crew can get along, because that means we get more accomplished as well. We were happy to help Brooks Fish and Game Habitat site at the Aqueduct again, beginning of May. There's about 30 volunteers. I can't remember. I think the archery club comes with a bunch of younger volunteers. Great to work with them every season. I quite enjoy that a lot. There was only 300. We were done in a couple, 3 hours. Enjoyed our lives and moved some water around after that. So I think it's pretty early to say whether it's going to be a great year or just a good year, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be good.
Good to hear. Thank you, Todd. Are there any questions? Councillor Skanderup and then Councillor Hofer.
I'm just curious, how many years in a row now have we planted trees out at the aqueduct?
That is a good question. It's probably 4. The first year was the big year. We did all the main, and now it's mostly replacing dead stock and adding different varieties.
So it should be getting pretty well done, or is it ongoing, like every year there'll be some to do?
Yeah, I think in any big site, like that's a 22-acre site, and the idea is that it is a habitat site, so there's going to be damage from trees, from voles, from whatever else munches on trees. So it's hard to say whether it's a good or a bad thing that we continue, but it's it'll be probably continuous for many years until the trees are quite established. And if you've probably driven by once or twice, there's probably some 10-foot trees there already. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you. Councillor Hofer had a question, comment?
Todd, can you remind us what the cost of the barbecue is? I have had some inquiries. I know I read it somewhere, and I know it's listed somewhere, but if you could refresh it, please.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that's one of the reasons it doesn't get used very much. It's completely free. It just has to come back clean and full of propane. So that's the only thing we require, clean and full of propane. We do have the opportunity to take a deposit. Many of our users are return users, and we don't often require that $250 deposit because it just comes back clean and full of propane.
Bonus.
Thank you. Councillor Kopp.
Question about the strychnine. Did it go to areas where the gophers were really, really bad, or is everybody waiting? Like, how did...
We still have not received our first shipment of strychnine, so it has not gone anywhere. Nobody has gotten anything. No, so there was a preliminary order that we had to put into the Alberta government so we could outline how much we should be getting, or we wanted, sorry. And we asked for 100 cases because at that time we had 50 guys on the list. And the idea would be that everybody could potentially purchase 2 cases. There's a limited first run. We anticipate getting 18 cases in the first run. Now there'll be subsequent orders and we will get our allotment as it comes. But currently we won't have enough to fulfill what is needed.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you again for a positive report and wish you a good season. Thanks for the work you do. And a motion to approve the Ag Fieldman's report, Councillor Baumgarten. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Todd. Let's move on to item number 11.1, the City of Brooks request to acquire ownership of land within the county. Welcome, Lane, to give us a summary of that situation.
Good morning, Council. So this item is a sign of progress and development occurring within the City of Brooks. They are reaching out with a request for Council to consent to their acquisition of a piece of privately owned property just outside of the city boundary. It's highlighted there. The Municipal Government Act requires that the council of the municipality where the land is located consent for an urban municipality to acquire the land. So a fairly straightforward item. If council has any questions, I can attempt to address those at this time.
Thank you, Lane. Are there any questions? Councillor Screever.
Are we planning on extending the 80-kilometer zone past this site?
Well, good question. I don't know that that has to do with this particular request, but that's one that you'd want to discuss with municipal services.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Cobb.
Do we consider this an annex, like, because it doesn't quite meet up to the other land of the City of Brooks?
Well,
or does it?
On the north boundary, it does. So that thick black line on the north boundary is the city boundary. On the east side and on the west side, it does not. And it's anticipated that this will probably be the subject of an annexation request in the future.
At some point, right. I think that's indicated in the RFD as well. Any other questions or someone prepared to make a motion? Councillor Baumgarten, go ahead, please.
Yeah, just to that point, the mention of the annexation, is that something you'd want to have as a condition? Like, is it, my understanding is that makes it on their books in terms of maintenance and everything else. Is that correct? Or just seems like, shouldn't this all kind of be done at the same time, or can we do that?
Well, the annexation process takes a fair bit of time. The Department of Municipal Affairs gets involved with that. This needs to be dealt with so that the city can move forward with their plans right now. But yeah, and council should anticipate that it is going to be coming up for a formal annexation request at some time in the near future.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Johnson, please.
So basically, they would like us to agree, and they won't have to pay us any tax on it. It's going to be exempt. And then they're going to annex it. What is the advantage of them annexing it then?
Well, first of all, the tax will remain in place for 2026 because it's based on the status of the property December 31st the year before. Is the second question, what was it? Sorry?
If they're going to be getting it a tax exempt status, it's in the county though, what is their advantage? Why would they apply for annexation?
I think it's just, it makes sense to have land that they are in control of within the boundaries of their urban municipality. Now, the Centennial Regional Arena is another example though, where that's owned by the city, but it remains in the county. In this case, they've made the request for council to approve their acquisition of it, but indications are that they do intend to apply for annexation of this site. and it would probably take in the little piece to the west of that as well, that little triangular parcel that's also in the county, but it's owned by the city of Brooks.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or a motion with regard to, for direction on this? Councillor Johnson, Neil Johnson, please.
Yeah, I think the city made a very smart purchase, and I'd like to make that motion.
As per the recommendation?
As per recommendation.
Thanks, Councillor Johnson. Any further questions? All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks, Lane. Let's move on to item number 11.2, County Brooks Recreation Parks and Cultural Services Agreement. Matt, you're taking that for us?
Yeah, I'll take this one away. This has been the topic of many previous conversations with council, and I am happy to say that with the help of interim CAO Doug Legore and his finance counterpart Brian over at the city, City Council approved this agreement unanimously at their last meeting. I won't belabor the point. There's some positive changes in here, I think, for governance of recreation moving forward. One of the highlights would be for any of these large projects over $500,000, we'll be getting together as joint councils to review those jointly. So the most recent example would be the multi-use sports field for the Brooks Junior High. What are we looking at? Capital commitment of $150,000 a year before we need to have conversations, and that's on existing capital. If there's service level changes or new capital, we automatically need to have a conversation. I emphasize the county would like to see the capital commitments coming at us well in advance, so emphasizing good asset management. On the operating side of things, we're right around that $611,000 mark, which is about $80,000 less than where we were at previous. So it was nice to see some accommodation made for service level enhancements on the county side of the border with Kinbrook Connection Pathways and the pathway out to Lake Newell Resort. With that, I'm available for questions. We are recommending approval as presented.
Thank you, Matt. That's good news. I think we've had a discussion on this in the past. Are there questions? Councillor Kopp, please.
Just to clarify the capital expenditure part, the 150,000, that's, just explain that.
Yeah, so for instance, in the past, we gave ourselves extra unnecessary work, in my opinion. So for instance, the lockers was a project that came due at the pool, $120,000. It's at the end of life. It needs to be replaced. Just replace that stuff. Send us the bill. We'll pay up to our 20% share, up to $150,000. If you're going to exceed that, even if it's on existing capital, let's have a conversation, because we're only going to budget for that 150. The new stuff, let's have that conversation. Let's see it coming at us well in advance so we can plan for that. My observation in the region is we're coming to the end of life of many significant recreational assets. There's a price tag to be paid, and we all need to do a lot more work assessing the priorities and socking away some money to get after that effort, or deciding what facilities might need to be shuttered. And that's not a popular conversation to have, but I'm encouraged by the changes we've got baked into this agreement. Hopefully it takes a bit of the paper pushing out of the equation, and really is a big support to recreation in the region, which pretty big deal for quality of life for our residents.
Thank you. Any other questions or a motion? Councillor Screever?
Yeah, I'd like to make this motion as presented.
Okay, that we approve this agreement commencing January 1st of this year. Any further questions? All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 11.3, councillor payment sheets. We need a motion to approve unless there are questions or comments. Councillor Johnson, go ahead, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That is carried. Thank you. Requests for functions of council. The Brookson District Fund Spring Grant presentation. That is something that happens annually, and I think they appreciate representation from the county. I had originally thought I would be able to attend, but cannot. I guess the motion for it to be a function of council would be appropriate, and I think that someone should also be asked, if we have people attending, someone may be asked to present on behalf of the county, not primarily just greetings and comments from the county, I believe. Who can attend that? That is May 27th. Councillor Screever is able to go. A motion that we make it a function of council for Councillor Screever, all in would be in order. Councillor Johnson, please make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. And we can notify them that you'll attend. Go ahead.
One kind of cool thing with this is at the new Mosaic Theater, so we'll be able to see what that looks like.
Yeah. Great, thank you. Hands and Harvest Community Garden Project ribbon cutting ceremony at CDC, I believe, correct, on May the 30th. Someone make that a motion, that be a function of council. I think anyone who can attend that, it would be a good thing to be at. I think it's an inaugural use of the CDC, part of the CDC grounds for a community garden. Someone prepared to make a motion on that? Councillors.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried as well. Item 11.4.3, the Pacific Northwest Economic Region Annual Summit, which is being held in Edmonton this year. This is an organization that has been going since 1991 and involves most of the western provinces, Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, Northwest Territories, and the Yukon, and several U.S. states. I would like to attend that. I actually I have attended before in other places, in other capacities, but I think this one has a focus on endangered species, so I think it's a good place, and I actually was suggested to me from someone outside of council that we should be there, and I think looking at the agenda, it would be a good one to be at. I would like to go, and I think it would be good if 2 or 3 of us went, if there's direction for that. Councillor Screever, please.
Yeah, I'd also be interested in going to this event. I think that would be very interesting, and I do agree that at least a couple of us should go.
Councillor Johnson.
I will mention that is both during a COW meeting and a council meeting. And I had suggested to Matt that maybe we don't need to have that council meeting that week. That was something I was going to discuss later on this meeting, so just food for thought.
I think that's something we could consider probably. Looking at the agenda, I believe that we could attend that and be back for the council meeting if it's on. But
the COW meeting's on the Monday.
Right. Both of those could be shifted, or the committee, the whole meeting could be shifted. Okay. Councillor Screever.
Yeah, I would suggest the COW meeting be shifted to another date if possible. The council meeting we can be back for. The events on the Thursday, I looked at the agenda. Yeah, they're not really that's more of a kind of a half-day travel day. So I think that we would be back by on Wednesday evening, and I think we should play the council meeting as it comes if there's things that need to be done.
Yeah, I think there's kind of that's probably that council meeting is the discussion on that is almost a separate issue, because I agree that we can be back if we need to be. Go ahead, Matt.
That committee of the whole meeting for the 20th, that is our budget planning meeting. We could shoehorn that in on the 23rd as a possibility, right? If we're going to maintain the council meeting, we could have back-to-back council, then committee of the whole to follow.
Okay, that's a consideration. So I think the conflict is off the table. Councillor Kopp, please.
Yeah, it's just that we set these dates out way in advance. I plan my stuff around it, right? And then when we start moving things, then things get messed up.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Councillor Johnson. Okay, we need a motion that...
Didn't you tell me, Neil, you'd done too many conferences this year and you were done already?
Sounds pretty interesting.
I think the other thing that is a part of that is a hydrogen hub, a functioning hydrogen hub initiative that is part of a tour for the 22nd, I believe, and to me that seems like a good initiative. Councillor Hofer, please.
I will make that motion that everybody that's agreed to want to go can go.
To make it a function of council? Okay. For wide open or for a specific number of people?
No, for the 3 people that have said that they want to go.
Sure, okay. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. Okay, that's carried, thank you. The only question, were there others that wanted to go? Like, do we need to appoint specific people to go? That's the question we didn't visit. Okay. Okay, well, maybe we can, how do you want to handle that? Sorry, go ahead.
When is the deadline for registration, Ariana?
I'm not sure that, I don't know the answer to that. Do you, have you? Yes. Sorry, what was that, Councillor Kopp? You had a comment?
I was just wondering if we all got an email about it because I don't remember seeing it.
It just came this morning. This is relatively new.
Very fresh.
Yeah, it is, yeah. I'm not sure there is a deadline.
Yeah, I may have to get back on you. That it's not readily apparent on the website, but I'll figure it out and send an email.
We could look at the conference and see who's it fits best with on committees. That's an option instead of just general interest, who is focused on those areas. I don't know enough about it myself, but that's one way of looking at it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve 3 people to go, I believe. Do you want to deal with that, or do you want to change the motion, or where are we at? I'm going to call the question. All in favor that we support three council members attending, please indicate. That is carried. Maybe we can revisit if we want to with regard to specifically who it will be, but I think that gets us in the queue, and we can revisit that if we need to. Okay, thank you. With that, it is 11 o'clock, and we have a scheduled meeting with Jackie Seely from STARS. Welcome, Jackie. Go ahead and take a chair at the mic. Do you know everybody in the room?
I think so. Maybe some of the...
Okay, well, why don't we have introductions, and that refreshes everybody. Welcome this morning. Go ahead, Neil.
I'm Neil Johnson, Division 7 Councillor. Welcome.
Welcome, Jackie, Duchess, Division 8 Councillor.
Good to see you. Welcome, Greg Screeber.
Good morning. That's Ben Hofer over there from Division 8. Adina Scandrup, Division 2, the hamlet of Tilly and surrounding area.
Arno Dirksen, welcome.
Nice to see you. Matt Fensky, CAO.
Good morning, Holly Johnson, Division 4, Rainier, Scandia, Bow City, Castles, and Antelope Creek.
Hello there, it's Dan Baumgarten, Councillor for Division 1, Rolling Hills area.
Good morning, Lynette Kopp, Division 3, Patricia Millicent area. Welcome.
Good morning, Ariana Nielsen, Executive Assistant.
Catherine Siakla, Communications Officer.
Excellent.
Welcome. We have about 15 minutes. Is that adequate for your presentation and some questions?
That sounds great.
Okay.
Thank you, Reeve and Council. It's a pleasure to bring you your annual update from STARS. And as you know, I'm Jackie Seely, and I live in the town of Bazzano, so always a pleasure to bring an update to a local council. I also want to mention that we really appreciated hosting the County of Newell at the STARS base last fall. So thank you for coming in and learning more about the operational side of STARS. Last year, we celebrated our 40th anniversary, so you came in our 40th year. And as a charity, we continue to operate at no cost to the patient, thanks to support like from the County of Newell. You've been supporting since 1992, almost as long as we've been around. A couple updates at STARS. We do have a new CEO, and that's Dr. John Froh. He is an exemplary critical care expert, just like our founder, Dr. Powell. So he's our former chief medical officer and now the CEO. So very much a critical care expert and innovator like Dr. Powell. Sadly, Dr. Powell did pass away at the end of April last year. We're very dedicated at STARS to continuing his legacy. A little bit of background for the new counselors on STARS. So initially, as you can see in the bottom right, we were Lions Air Ambulance. And that's because seed funding came from Lions Alberta to help us lease a helicopter so we could get STARS off the ground. Our first mission ever was flown to Lethbridge, Alberta, December 1st, 1985. And so shortly thereafter, we became STARS, Shock Trauma Air Rescue Service, and that's when the helicopter became red, as you can see in the middle there. That's our BK-117 helicopter, which served us well for 37 years. And in the top right, you'll see our new fleet of H-145 helicopters. We have 10 now that serve Western Canada from our 6 bases: Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, and Winnipeg and, Saskatoon and Regina, as well as Winnipeg. So covering Western Canada and flying many missions from Alberta into BC. They are equipped as airborne intensive care unit environments, and we do have the night vision goggle capability, which is essential as over half of our calls are at night. We work with multiple partners in the chain of survival. Of course, your fire department, so big shout out to our your regional fire services operating throughout the county, and also many other partners in the chain of survival, RCMP, police, ground ambulance, Alberta Health Services, fixed wing, and the rural hospitals that are all working together to give the patient the best chance. The types of missions that we fly for has changed a little bit from what we reported last year. Vehicle incidents used to be -- and now cardiac is #1 at 21%, followed by vehicle incidents at 19%. And if the other trauma-related illnesses and injuries are listed in other categories here. Here is your 5-year mission overview of STARS missions within the County of Newell boundaries. So this is anybody who was that was within your boundaries that either lives here, was passing through here for work, or was possibly a tourist in your area and became critically ill or injured. So over the last 5 years, 171 patients flown. So we only fly critically ill or injured patients. As you can see, a number of interfacility transfers still happen from the Brooks Hospital, taking up the bulk of the missions. And then after that, scene calls. So typically what happens in most cases If a patient is ill or injured, they're coming in by ground ambulance, and if critical, STARS is called to do the interfacility transfer. But when there's a scene call, that could be a highway accident or other type of incident where we've even landed at a farm or ranch or in a field somewhere and responded to that call. And when we're typically on the highway, that's when your fire department is assisting us. On average, 34 missions per year. But what I want to impress upon is that total of 171. That's 171 lives in just 5 years that were given the best chance at survival. Here we will review our fiscal year 2025-26. And so this is a little different than what we presented to you last year. Previously, we reported 34.2 million in direct operating costs. That has significantly increased. And so now that's at 36.6, 12.2 million per base for a number of fuel costs, education and training, as well as other things, you know, tariffs, etc. We ship in helicopter parts from the States, so that's another area that we're impacted on. So out of our total 36.6 million, we receive 15 million per year in block funding from our largest donor, Alberta Health Services. So that's regardless of the number of missions that we fly for. Then we still must fundraise 59% of our direct operating costs. And so the STARS Lottery is still the largest fundraiser for STARS, bringing in almost enough to pay for one base in Alberta. After that, we rely on business, individual, and corporate donations, community-driven fundraisers, and also the Municipal initiative, which I've mentioned you've been part of since 1992. Municipalities recognize STARS as an essential extension to the emergency services in their community, and with that, we do have over 95% of Alberta municipalities supporting. 80% of those are regional leaders. So I'll just touch on some different areas of our map here. Here are some areas that are under the $2 per capita. And here are the areas that are our regional leaders that are from $2 per capita anywhere up to $90 per capita. So we have quite a span there. This is a lot more Navy than it was last year, so thankfully some municipalities have increased their support. The county of Newell is a regional leader, contributing $3.35 per capita. Provincial leaders are shown here in teal green, and so these are anywhere, you know, a lot larger counties or MDs that are contributing at a higher rate, many on a standing motion. Many that have reached a minimum of $500,000 in cumulative giving, and that we've honored with a logo unveiling on our helicopter. So currently there's 9 provincial leaders, and we will recognize 3 more this year. Mountain View County, Foothills County, and as well as special areas. Down here at special areas 2, 3, 4. So just to speak to different rates of support kind of around your area, special areas increased to over $8 per capita last year, recognizing STARS as a lifeline to that very rural area, as well as, who else can I point out here? Starland County over $5 per capita, and Vulcan County over $4 per capita, just to kind of give you an idea around here. Regional partnerships continue to grow. So here within the County of Newell, we do have the City of Brooks on board. They joined the Municipal initiative a couple years ago, as well as the town of Bassano. So we've now have a full regional partnership throughout the MD of Tabor and many other areas that you can see, 27 areas across the province. This is just, this united effort really and continued contribution is creating this robust health and safety network that we rely on for rural Alberta. Our virtual care is still available to every rural hospital. So recently, we reached over 1,000 consultations in virtual care. So that's another way that we can provide critical care anywhere. We've mentioned in the past as well that every year we send a team of 2 to the International Air Medical Transport Conference. And in the 24 years that we've been competing, STARS has been #1 9 times now. The last couple years, first place again. And in those 24 years, we've always been within the top 3. And I mention this not only because we're proud of our crew, but this is what you are investing in for the safety and the best chance at survival for the residents within County of Newell. So thank you for your continued support that makes this possible. So County of Newell, you are a regional leader at the 25,000 fixed rate on a standing motion. So we greatly appreciate that. I did touch on, that we have been heavily impacted with our budget increasing from 34.2 million previously up to 36.6 million. So while you are well above the $2 per capita, we're asking that if you're interested in considering to help us, continue to provide critical care, is to some type of increase upon your, whatever you feel you may be able to do to help us offset that 36.6 million. In some areas of the province, we do have municipalities that will match what they're giving other air ambulance providers. As you know, in Alberta, we do have 3. We have Hero in the northeast, Halo in the southeast, and then STARS operating the 3 bases across the province. So we open that up to your consideration and any questions that you may have.
Thank you for that, Jackie. Are there questions? I have one question with regard to missions when they're flown. Are those charged back on a fixed basis at all, or on any kind of a standard, say to AHS or emergency services or anything like that?
No, there is no charge to the patient. And as far as our funding goes, we receive block funding from AHS. So that 15 million that we receive is block. We don't charge per mission. And it, so that funding from the government is basically coming from AHS for those services. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation here again this morning, and thank you on behalf of all of us to STARS for the good work that you do. I know that air ambulance services are provided to our county residents on a regular basis, and as well this week, and we thank you for the reliability of that. That's a big deal for all of us and our residents, so thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I also should mention quickly here, I'll just go back up here again, with our provincial leaders that we're adding this year, I should also mention that the County of Newell, your cumulative giving since 1992 is at 316,000. So that is the sustainability that you've helped provide all of these years. And so eventually we will be able to honor the County of Newell with a logo unveiling too when you reach up to that $500,000 threshold. So thank you for your partnership, and we value your contributions.
Thank you for that. Appreciate what you do. Thanks, Jackie. Yeah.
You're very welcome. I'll leave a couple calendars with you, one for your office and one for the fire department here as well.
Great, thank you.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you. We're pretty much on time today, so we have a meeting with Diane Declerq and the Brooks Health Foundation. Welcome, Diane, and thank you for coming in this morning. Do you know everybody in the room here? Okay. Yeah.
That'll happen.
Great, thanks.
Okay, is
And-
this thing on?
And
Looks
maybe
like it
just
is.
introduce who's accompanying you
Yeah.
this morning as well.
So I've got Debbie Axelson with me. She's our new administrator at the Brooks and District Health Foundation. She joined us earlier this year, and now we have a consistent face in the office 3 days a week. And there is some flex time, but we have a consistent presence at the desk and at the hospital in the main hallway. So that's nice to be able to do that moving forward. I'm here as on behalf of the Brooks and District Health Foundation to provide an update. We like doing this one way or the other. It's nice to be able to communicate what we've been up to and share that our progress and share events and things that are happening with the foundation. So last year we raised almost $1 million through the generosity of the community. We've been bequested estate funds and that kind of thing. This year we're still working on our year end, but it's going to be between $650,000 and $700,000. And there's always projects that are ongoing. We are looking into the future for projects as well. So currently projects underway are the upgrade to the remaining 2 palliative care rooms in Unit A. We did one in partnership with a couple of community organizations, one being Prairie Rose Hospice and the other being in memory of, sorry? No, sorry, I've just lost the thought there. In memory of Lisa not Friendle, but Lisa, the hairstylist. Her family did a fundraiser and they wanted the proceeds to go towards upgrading these rooms. So the Shuett family has made a substantial donation of $50,000 to start the fundraising campaign for the current 2 projects, which are going to be about $116,000 to $120,000, including upgrades to some furnishings, that kind of stuff, to make the patients and their families' end-of-life journey a little more comfortable. And it helps us keep our families close to home when they're experiencing that, that journey. So that is our ongoing project, or our main project right now. We have, like I say, we've got $50,000 from the Shuett family. We have also received $26,310 in Smile Cookies. Thank you, everybody who supported that. And we have a great partnership with our local Tim Hortons each year doing that. This was their 26th year supporting it. The Health Foundation has been in, this is our 30th anniversary this year, so for the Brooks and District Health Foundation. And over those 30 years, we've invested close to $8 million into the hospital. So we're proud to be the trustees and stewards of the money that's donated to the organization and ensuring that it goes to the proper places and where the greatest needs are. So in addition to our 30th anniversary, we're looking, the emergency department family room, which used to be kind of a broom closet storage area, we are going to upgrade that project, or upgrade that room, and that's about a $15,000 enhancement, and we've got support from the Kinsman Club and also the Errett Hawk Pediatric Fund will be helping to enhance that space. The chapel room will be updated as well. It is currently more on the religious side, and because of the diversity in our community, we're going to make it more of a neutral space. It doesn't require much. It's just a basic facelift, but it gives families space to meet in the event of emergencies or to have quiet space amongst themselves. So then we continue, of course, to invest in equipment as needed. There's always demands for various equipment. All these investments that we do help us attract and retain physicians, nursing staff, and just general staff, and keep our families close to home. We are a first point of contact hospital, and where we can, we'd like to keep our families here. Sometimes we can't, but when they need help, we want to be able to provide them the help they need. Our sim lab, which was our great project last year, and thanks to the community for supporting that and helping us reach our goal. Last year, we raised $87,000 at our gala, and a lot of you were at that, and it was great to see. That sim lab should be completed at the beginning of July. So for those of you that don't know, a sim lab is basically like an airplane simulator. It gives the physician group and the staff, the nursing staff, hands-on experience, but not under the pressure of an actual emergency. It keeps our teams close to home for training, and we have a couple of our physicians are trained to train, which is great. So the flexibility of having that on site is going to be a major asset again to attracting and retaining staff. So, and in the last, I guess about a year now, we started a project of creating an actual attraction and integration retention committee in our community, because there was a number of different organizations and individuals that were doing bits and pieces. So we've brought it together, and now we call it the AIR committee, and it's attraction, integration, and retention. The city, the county, Brooks Immigration Services, and the Brooks Health Foundation are all partners in that, as well as we have some physicians on the board that help us determine the needs and what is going on. And it has been extremely successful. I believe we've recruited 5 new physicians, and there are another 2 looking at us. So apparently we are one of the leading, have the highest standard of attraction right now packages in Alberta, which is great. And we really appreciate the investment that the city and the county did to help with the housing, and the committee keeps looking at other ways to assist and make that transition a lot easier. One thing I do need to note, going back to the gala, the comments that came out of the gala after by the physician group especially, was they took a great appreciation to feel like they were part of our community, because typically their schedules don't align. They live together kind of in their own little areas typically. Not, I shouldn't say typically, but they kind of all, because of they're all kind of from the same area originally, they all kind of stay together. So it was very nice of them. They found that our community was extremely welcoming at our gala, and they were the ones that are a major push behind this year's gala. Yeah. So we're moving into a gala on September the 26th at Dutchess this year. And we're hoping to have some keynote guest speakers, including David Betsky and Danielle Smith. So they're going to try and make their schedules work so they can be here as well. And in addition, so I can't remember, what is our theme? Yeah. Harvest, it's a fall theme regarding harvest. You will get an invite. The Smile Cookie campaign, as I noted earlier, raised $26,300. Just going back to our room upgrades, so our goal is between 116 and 120,000. We're about 35,000 short of that, but we have a number of community organizations that we've gone and spoke to that are considering partnering with us in that project as well. So we're very excited about the involvement of our community, which has never really been an issue. It's just getting out and sharing the information. The next thing coming up for an event is the Errett Hawk Pediatric Fund online auction in June. It's always a lot of fun, bidding wars, June 8th to 13th. And that will be, it's not a big time consuming thing for our board. It's actually quite a lot of fun. The bidding wars are quite aggressive. It's great. And they have lots of unique items. And historically, we've raised about $25,000 to $30,000 with that. So that will be going on. Smokers Wars, the Brooks Smokers Wars are looking at a potential partnership with us, and their event is July 17th and 18th. And so they're asking and inviting everybody to participate in that, and they want us to help promote it because they're considering donating to our project. So other than that, we are actively continuing to just look at needs and wants in our community and ensure that we're doing the best job to invest those dollars where we get the best bang for our buck. So does anybody have any questions?
Thanks, Diane. Are there questions? Go ahead, Councillor Johnson.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Just with the health gala, are you fundraising for a specific project this year?
Yes, we are. We are fundraising for the maternity upgrade. So we're upgrading the maternity wing. So there's an emergency resuscitation room that / is a storage room. So we're actually going to make it more of a dedicated space. Plus we're going to upgrade the maternity rooms to like things like improving lighting equipment and things like that and making it more comfortable for families. And it's about we're still waiting for the quotes to come in, but we're estimating about $100,000 project. So that's our goal, is to help enhance that area. And that was specifically brought to us by the physician group, as they would like us to see that project upgrade. Oh, and on the maternity side of things, I should mention that AHS is now funding the shortfall that we were experiencing that was being shared by the county and the city. So they have covered that funding. We have asked them to do a formal press release because I know it was kind of a touchy subject in our community and there was some issues with various areas and whatnot. So we have asked AHS to do a formal press release on that so that we have that for the record.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions? I would like to also express our appreciation for the work you do, and I know last year your gala was the place to be that night. I didn't get there, but we'll mark our calendar.
A lot of the board members were there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, September 26th. Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see the integration with the physicians and the rest of the community. It was a very well attended and very appreciated event on their part. So
it's good.
I think if we can do things like that to create that inclusion, it'll go a long ways in our community.
And thanks for the work that you're doing on the attention and attraction initiative too. That's a good initiative that looks like it's working pretty well right now. So that's good.
And we really appreciate the opportunity to come and share and also to interact and get support and feedback from the county, the city. We do the same thing with the city as well. So, and we are actually looking at going out to some of the smaller communities around us as well, just to inform them because they utilize the services as well. So. But we'll keep you posted on that.
Thanks for coming in today. Thanks. I'm going to suggest we take about a 3-minute break. We have a public hearing at 11:30, so let's just be back for that. But thank you. Thanks, Diane.
Need a tranquilizer? Or an upper? You need an upper or a downer?
And I will, we have a public hearing that's about to commence, but we need a motion to move into a public hearing. Councillor Kopp, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. So this morning we have a public hearing to consider bylaw 2125-2626, the land use agreement. Maria, why don't you take us through that? Do we have anyone in the public realm that's attending the public hearing specifically? If not, I guess with that, we might dispense with some of the formalities, but the public hearing is here in order for us to hear from the public with regard to this particular bylaw. And so anyone from the public is welcome to make a presentation under an orderly plan. But Maria, why don't you give us the background, please?
Thank you. This proposed land use amendment is in Division 1, directly south of the hamlet of Rolling Hills. They would like to redesignate a 6.1 acre portion of the northeast of 361414 from Agriculture General District to Residential Rural District to allow for an additional subdivision. So the subdivision authority states that the subdivision authority bylaw states that the subdivision authority may approve one subdivision on an unsubdivided quarter section of land within the Ag General District. This proposed subdivision would be the third parcel out of this quarter section, which is why the land use amendment is required. Council gave first reading to the land use amendment on April 23rd. The subdivision application was approved by MPC on May 7th. Part of that approval was that was with the condition that this land use amendment passed council. And we, after this public hearing, should no objections be heard, then administration is recommending second and third reading.
Thank you for that explanation, Maria. Is there anyone in the public wishing to make a comment with regard to this bylaw? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion that we move out of a public hearing. Councillor Johnson, all in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you, Maria. And with that, we will move to second and third reading. First of all, second reading. Is there a motion? Question first. Go ahead, Councillor Johnson.
I was away for the last meeting and I did watch it online. So just a clarification. They initially were supposed to put a dedicated road in front, and now I believe it's not required unless there's more development. But all three of them have that caveat. So when would that be necessary to put in that additional road?
Go ahead, Maria, please.
So as part of the subdivision application referral process, Alberta Transportation required that the service road be taken as a plan. So what we've seen in the past with other subdivisions adjacent to highways is that a caveat is requested. In this case, because these two parcels already have that service road out as a plan, they would like that to be taken on this parcel as well. So that will then be part of the final subdivision plan will be the subdivision plan, and then this portion will become road plan. So that will then be accepted out of the title right away. The wording of the Alberta Transportation referral back to us was a little bit different than I have usually had. So it was my initial interpretation that a road be constructed, but then when I talked to Alberta Transportation, they said, no, the approach can remain as is until such time that they decide it needs to be removed. So there is no specific trigger. It could be, well, they'd give good, they'd let them know ahead of time, but it could be tomorrow and it could be in 20 years. So at the time that that approach is removed, then the service road will have to be created. And then there are options that can be considered at that time.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Any other questions? I think Councillor Baumgarten, you were interested in making the motion for second reading? Is that, did I read
Yes,
that right?
I make a motion for second reading.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor that we approve second reading, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Similarly, a motion to move into third reading. Councillor Screever, all in favor of third reading, please indicate. That is carried as well. Thank you. With that, let's move on to item number, pardon me, 8.2, bylaw 2112-26, road closure and sale. Go ahead, Maria. I think we've considered this in the past as well.
Yes, thank you very much. This proposed road closure is in Division 9, 12 kilometers northeast of Bizano. All the parcels in the area are zoned Agriculture General District. The total road allowance requested to be sold or purchased, I guess, from the county is 130 meters and includes 0.64 acres of land. The applicant has an approved development permit to construct a house on the parcel between Range Road 222 and the North Branch Canal. So this parcel here, they would like to purchase this strip of road allowance to consolidate with their parcel to allow a larger buildable area. Council has given approval to proceed on December 11th, 2025. Public hearing and first reading was completed on February 12th, and we received Alberta Transportation approval on April 30th. During the public hearing, there were no objections from adjacent landowners or required referrals, and it is recommended by administration that council provide second and third reading for this sale.
Thank you, Maria. Are there any questions? Councillor Johnson, go ahead.
Yeah, what did we arrive at a price for that 0.6 acre?
Go ahead, Maria.
In speaking with the assessor, the market value of that piece of land is $2,500 per acre. So that's the recommended
sale price?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion or comments, or is someone prepared to make a motion for second reading? Councillor Scandrup makes a motion for second reading. Any further discussion? All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Similarly, a motion for second reading. Councillor, third reading. Yes, thank you. That comes right after two. Councillor Johnson, thank you. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, Maria. Let's move on to item number 8.3, the bylaw 2127-26, access to information and protection of privacy. 3 readings. Ariana, you're going to help bring us back into compliance.
I'll do my best. All right, so yeah, the first one, it is rescinding the FOIP bylaw that has been on the books since 1999. So obviously last year they split FOIP into Access to Information and Protection of Privacy Acts. So this bylaw has been updated to reflect those changes. The biggest change is the changes to the references. So FOIP is removed and now updated to align with AT.A.M and POPA. Included some expanded definitions to clarify the scope, and the biggest one is the definition of an employee that includes staff as well as volunteers and service providers, and then other definitions for the acts themselves and the ATI coordinator and the privacy officer. Both bylaws designate the chief administrative officer at the head. The new part, we're required to designate a privacy officer, so I just included the roles of the ATI coordinator and the privacy officer in the bylaw just to make it official. And then the reference to the fees have also been updated to include the Access to Information Act and the schedule of fees. And that's about it. I am requesting 3 readings today, and I am open to questions.
Thank you for that explanation. I think we have a good written explanation as well. Thanks for the summary. Are there any questions? Seeing none, is someone prepared to move first reading of this bylaw? Councillor Kopp. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Similarly, a motion to entertain second reading, Councillor Baumgarten. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. And then we need consent for third reading to consider all three readings on the same meeting. Councillor Johnson makes that motion, consent for third reading. All in favor? That is carried. And third reading. Anyone? Councillor Neil Johnson makes the motion to consider third reading. All in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried. Job done. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 8.4, the bylaw 2128-26, records management. Similarly, three readings. Go ahead, Ariana.
Thank you. So this is a bigger bylaw, but the changes are not significant, also to align with the new acts. I included a reference to the Electronic Transactions Act because when this bylaw was updated in 2020, we included the official record is the county, or the official county record is the electronic record. So the Electronic Transactions Act is what allows us to do that. So that's been included. Definitions and an explanation of security classifications have been included. That is a requirement of the privacy management program that we're going to have. So I figured it was a good place to mention them in the records and information management bylaw. We'll have a more extensive procedure explaining what exactly that means and how they're going to be applied in our systems. Definition of personal information has been updated to match what's in the POPA. We didn't have definitions for life cycle terms for what constitutes active versus inactive records, which determines when the cutoff for the retention period before disposition happens. And then we added the definition for data concepts for data matching non-personal data and data derived from personal information to also match POPA. Added a reference to the Records and Information Governance Committee, which is responsible for reviewing changes to the records classifications or retention periods that this bylaw governs, and a statement for employee accountability, just saying that everyone is responsible for managing records in accordance with our Records and Information Management Program. Disposition procedures will require managerial approval for the department responsible for making decisions about their records. The original bylaw required witnesses for destruction of all records, so I've just updated this to make it less cumbersome. So witnesses are only required for records classified as restricted records. It just makes it a little easier. And then we've got stronger emphasis on maintaining records and destruction notices within the county's electronic documents and records management system. And then the other changes, we had physical templates for a records inventory form and a destruction notice attached to the bylaw, but I've removed those since they're currently electronic forms. And I think that's about it. Also looking for 3 readings on this one, and questions, please.
Thank you, Ariana. Are there questions? Seeing none, and someone prepared to move first reading of this motion. Councillor Hofer, thank you. All in favor that we provide first reading? That is carried. Thank you. Similarly, second reading, Councillor Screever. All in favor of second reading? And then similarly, a motion of consent for third reading today. Councillor Baumgarten makes that motion. All in favor? That is carried. And then a motion to entertain third reading, Councillor Kopp. Thank you. All in favor of that motion, please indicate. That is carried. Fairly routine business, but thanks for the summary, Ariana, and that's done. Thank you. Let's move on to item number 12, which is municipal services and the joint use and planning agreement with Grasslands School Division. Jeff, you're here to take us through that. Welcome and good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. In front of you is a proposed joint use planning agreement with Grasslands School Division, as well as an RFD. So amendments made to the Municipal Government Act and Education Act on June 10th, 2020 required municipalities and school divisions operating in their jurisdiction to enter into a joint use planning agreement. At the time, these agreements were supposed to be entered into by June 10th, 2023. At that time, subsequent extensions were given to 2025 and now to 2026. So not uncommon for requirements of agreements to be entered into to see those extensions. And it may look like, there was some dawdling on the county's part, but that's not the case. Grasslands is the only school division that operates in our municipality that we're required to enter into an agreement with. Grasslands operates in a number of other municipalities. So in discussions with the division, they wanted to attack the larger concerns first, and that was the City of Brooks, obviously. The City of Brooks operates not only with Grasslands, but Christ the Redeemer School Division, as well as the Francophone School Division. So Grasslands worked together with the city and those other two divisions to formalize and enter into an agreement, which has been approved at all of those levels. And we thought, for a lower risk agreement for us, it was adequate to, let Grasslands work out the kinks, the legalities in the bigger group, and then take that agreement and make it work for the county and Grasslands. So that is what you have between us. The enactment, Municipal Government Act 670, Section 670.1 enacts us to enter into this agreement. What this agreement does, it's clear in the act, deals with, establishes the ability for municipalities and school divisions to talk about planning, development, and use of school sites, transfers of municipal and school reserves, disposal of school sites, servicing of school sites, and the use of school facilities and municipal facilities, and how those are shared between user groups as they're defined in the agreement. The schools, so that's school facilities, gymnasiums, corridors, playing fields, things like that. From the county side, we don't operate a lot of our facilities, so there's not a lot in the agreement for county use facilities. As everybody knows, the most recent school development was in the hamlet of Tilly. It was built on the same site as the existing school. So, when we talk about low risk, some of these things, most of these things, all of these things are things that we're already doing, planning, talking to the school division, making sure there's adequate space for future school site development. The major benefit of this agreement is the sharing of the facilities and allowing county user groups to access those through the agreement. The recommendation in front of you is to enter into the agreement as presented, or approve the agreement as presented. The Grassland Board will be seeing the same agreement and being recommended to approve this agreement at their board meeting on Monday, the 25th. Open to answering any questions anyone may have.
Thank you, Jeff. Are there questions? Councillor Johnson?
So there was no agreement of any sorts prior to this, or just was it a very different agreement?
This agreement does not supersede any previous agreement in place. There was never a requirement. The City of Brooks did have a pre-existing joint use agreement with the school divisions because they do. It was more geared towards the operation of their facilities, the availability and costs to use those facilities, swimming lessons, the pool, the arenas, the rec center, things like that. But they had to update when this enactment came out in 2020. They had to add the planning portion to help identify future school sites. And, with the development of schools in the City of Brooks recently, it's been important. So they've had a great opportunity to sit down with all three school divisions and hammer out the details and talk about all the things that, have come up over the past number of years with school site development.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Kopp, go ahead.
What's the difference? Why would the city have agreements with the Francophone school as well as the Catholic school, and yet we don't need to?
the regulation only requires us to enter into agreements with school divisions currently operating in our municipality. So because none of those school divisions operate in our municipality, we don't need to. We have some Mennonite schools in the community that are private. Newell Christian School also had those discussions and not required to enter into an agreement with that division either.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Someone prepared to make a motion that we approve this agreement as presented? Councillor Kopp, thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. That takes us to item number 13. We have some written committee reports. If there are questions about those, they can be raised at this time, but we also have several two Grasslands Regional FCSS. Councillor Johnson, do you have a
just very short. We met with Premier Smith yesterday, had a very good meeting, discussed what FCSS is doing in our community and where there could be more funding for more programming. But also we have our open house next week on Wednesday. It starts from 2:30. I want to say 2:30 to 4, but the poster's not in front of me. didn't find it quick enough. But the sign is now up as of 2 days ago. So if you drive by, you will see our sign up on the top of the building. We are located in the same mall where Greyhound used to be. That's the easiest way to explain it to most of us. Or the North End Liquor Store, if that's where you like to be. But anyway, you're all welcome to come by. We will have snacks and such. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Holly. Newell Housing Foundation, who's reporting on that? Councillor Scandrop.
Well, I'll report some and then I'll look to my counterpart here. But I just wanted to say that we've transferred the money to I forget what it's called now. For the homes, the tiny homes in for Bazzano, we're just waiting now on the transfer of the title of the land so that we can get things built. And we still have a couple of vacancies. In one vacancy at the villa in Tilly and 2 in Dutchess. And everything else, and the lodge has several vacancies. Other than that, everything's booked up. Anyone add anything to that, Mr. Councillor Screever? No?
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions? Or any other questions about written committee reports? Councillor Johnson, please.
Yes, question for Councillor Hofer. The Dutchess Rec Board meeting gave 2,000 to Brooks Rush Volleyball. I was just curious what the money was for.
Well, they wanted to move from Brooks. They want to move their tournaments and team plays out to Dutchess to the rec center for one, and the kids needed new jerseys, so that's what that was for.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I think we have, go ahead, Councillor Johnson, please.
I'm just going to put a plug in that this weekend is the 4-H multi-show and beef sale, and Dan and I both have kids in it. Arnold's got grandkids in it. I don't know who else has relatives in it, but Sunday there is lambs, swine, baby calves, and heifers, so it's great for kids to come out and see what projects there are and get exposed to animals. And of course, Monday is the beef show and sale, which is a little more familiar with people, but kids have worked really hard. There's about 75 steers on Monday and a various assortment. Less kids on the Sunday. Well, no, probably not if you can include all those cleavers with their baby calves. It's very loud. But it's a great chance for people to come out and see the work the kids are doing and support rural agriculture.
Thank you. That's a good pitch. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, I think we've done a lot of damage to our agenda already, but we have in camera. Do you want to take that before lunch? I don't think we have. Do we have a long agenda in camera? No. In camera, no. That's okay. A motion to go in camera would be entertained by the chair. Councillor Screever makes a motion that we go in camera. All in favor, please indicate. That is carried. Thank you. I don't know why you guys